Look, Jeff, just get the upgrades on the car as soon as possible, mate. I don't want to hear it. Hello? Alfa Romeo, what's going on? Look, why would Schwartzman purposely spin in front of your drivers? Well, maybe if they were better at missing stationary objects, it wouldn't have been a problem. Go away. Look, Robert, next time you're going to do that, mate, just let me know so I can put on the softs. Hey guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome to Aussie Villain Racing and the Mexican Grand Prix. This is going to be hopefully a good race for us after a surprise point, let's be honest, at Austin in the American Grand Prix. Now, if we have a quick look here, we can see it's a very quick turnaround. Just the 2 days we have to do these sort of off-track activities. Let's have a look at what our options are here. We can invest a little bit more into Schwartzman. We can do driver promo. We can do a durability team morale building, or we can do a sponsor event. Now, if we have a look at the departments here, I don't think everybody's morale, or certainly durability's morale, is high, so we don't have to worry too much about that. So I think it's a combination of whether we do two driving things or whether we do a sponsor event. Let's invest some money into Schwartzman. Let's put a little bit into ourselves as well, and that'll be the 2-day gap filled in. Now, we do have 3.78 million in the bank. That means we have enough to do an upgrade here. Let's go with the durability. With powertrain is completely upgraded, and I'm tempted to try and get the marketing one done to spec one as well. But this is what we can do, simultaneous upgrades. All right, so let's do that. That's 1.6. That leaves us with 2.1, almost 2.2. So let's do that as well. Let's reduce the build time. That leaves us with just under 1 million, and that'll just about be that, won't it? Yeah. So that is some money spent on the factory, which is good. R&D. Now, of course, last episode we were supposed to have 2 major upgrades, and basically everything failed. So we've got to re-get everything. So let's go to the chassis, the wheel rims, which is our major upgrade. That is disappointing, so we can get that, but look at that, it won't be here. We'll 2 more races. And now the other one that we had was on the engine side of things, wasn't it? And it was it this cylinder head, which is a major upgrade as well, isn't it? So that's 640, so we can afford to do that again. We're looking at the Australian Grand Prix, so it'll be the home race for me and Aussie Villain Racing as well. We should have 2 major upgrades coming onto the car, which will be nice. Durability, so we do have the improved turbo materials. That's been completed, but we can see there that the parts that are coming on, we're not expecting, I don't think, too much for this race. Everything's the 27th, 28th of October, so that's all going to be, does it have a date somewhere that I can see? No. We can see on the thing down the vehicle performance comparison, we have fallen behind. Well, Alfa Romeo's ahead of us now, as are Alpine and Alpha Tauri. And we can see, I mean, look at the step forward that Alpine's taken. They've almost caught Ferrari now. We are still there neck and neck, aren't we, with Alfa Romeo and with Alpha Tauri, but Alpine has a massive step forward. Now, if we have a look here, all our engine parts are still more or less good to go, which is absolutely fine. That's why we took penalties earlier on in the season. The gearbox, 63% wear. This will be the last race for that. Let's hope we can eke it out. We're almost better off going back to gearbox 2. But anyway, let's just hope it can get us through to the end here. The corporate side of things, we have to answer 4 questions in the race to get that bonus. And then we have to beat our rival in the race, which is, of course, Lance Stroll these days. And we don't stand much chance of doing that in an ordinary race. We can see there, look at Schwartzman, already 76% rated, or 76 rated, I should say. Now, that is way, way higher than what Markelov ever was. And if we compare him, he's better than Latifi. He is better, no, not quite better than Ralf Schumacher, way better than Mazepin. And there we can see Markelov. It's 12 rating points, whatever that's worth higher. So I think we've got a good one here, which is excellent. The finances, we've just seen we've invested some money into the factory, so that's absolutely fine. The finance history, we can obviously see a dip there, having spent that money. And the standings, well, having just seen the way that the development train is going, or the development graph thing, Alpine being 3 points ahead of us is a fairly major problem, isn't it? And AlphaTauri as well. They, of course, both had very good American Grand Prix, whereas we had a decent one getting 10th. But yeah, they had, was it a 4th and a 5th? Yeah, you can see there, Alonso 5th and Tsunoda 4th. That was big points. And with only 4 races to go, that is looking as if it's going to be tough for us to overcome. But we'll do our best, won't we? And there's our rivalry with Lance Stroll. We are in front, but of course he didn't finish the American Grand Prix. So that obviously helped us with that rivalry. And there are my driver stats for anybody who's worried about those. But let's go back. Let's get ahead here and see if anything is going to happen off track before we head out to Mexico City.
I know we were expecting some new developments to come through, but some of them have failed quality control. We'll need to tell the team what to redevelop via the R&D screen.
Go to event.
We have another one for you. We're happy regardless of what you choose.
Our sponsors have decided to invest more in the team. We're sure that we are not the only department asking to dip into the purse, but we genuinely feel that an investment in the size, investment of this size could be a massive push for our current development project. Would you agree to hear our proposal? So we agree, the MGUK, and if we decline, we get 100 grand. 100 grand is not too much, is it? That's absolutely fine. So I don't know exactly what that means. We're low cash if we want to get... We've got 4 races, so we don't have to worry about that. That's absolutely fine. So let's advance ahead again. The barge boards are done. All right, excellent. Let's see what that does for us. That's aerodynamics. So the barge boards are on, and that means that we have a little bit of an upgrade, but the front wing adjusted... Jesus, what's wrong with my eyes today? That's failed. Let's head on out to Mexico City. So our messages ahead of the weekend, we've got the very, very long front straight in this one, of course. We do tend to go well down the straights, don't we? So we can see the new parts on the car. So we've got barge boards, the weight reduction, cable assembly, and the improved turbo materials in those front wing adjusted brackets were the failure. And we're expecting a dry weekend, so that helps simplify things a little bit for us, doesn't it? Guys, as ever, I will go and do free practice, and I'll see you for qualifying 1. Alright, free practice is done. We did okay. We was, I think, inside the top 10 in FP2, but it was rain affected, and we went out early before the rain, so that's maybe a little bit misleading. Just the usual 16th, 17th, 15th, 14th. We're sort of living in that range again, so we'd hope to get out of Q1, but let's see if we can do it. Alright, we're coming around for our first attempt in Q1. Now, Yuki Tsunoda is out. I'm not sure what he's done, if it was a mechanical failure or a crash. But Yuki is done, which means it's one less car we have to beat to get out of Q1, so that's a bonus. Long straight. Brake at the TV camera booth thingy there. Down to 3rd. We can get down to 2nd here, and then we can pretty much stand on the gas. Get out, good exit out of there. Down another long straight. And this is a really tricky little sequence up here that I've been struggling with in free practice, but I think I've kind of figured out what I'm supposed to do. And, well, that's not it. Alright, 2nd attempt. We've got our co-driver here in Ellie, which is not the best timing, Ellie. Okay, thank you for that. And hopefully, yeah, we'll get past that little second sequence of corners, but haven't lost too much time. Did have to do repair the damage on the front wing. I'm assuming we just put a new front wing on. There, and off we go. Hopefully, I mean, we really just need a delta time as much as anything, just so we got something to compare ourselves to. Let's see what we can do here this time. Oh, I just cannot get that into the corner. It's okay to go a bit wide there because we can straighten the exit and get on the gas nice and early. S's here that seem to get increasingly faster. And the big thing is not to completely drop it on the exit there. And now another really just slow, I almost want to say silly section of the track as we hit the bollard, which is not ideal. Just get it back. This has not been a good lap. Turn it into this last corner, get on the gas. And, well, at least we've got something on the board. It's P21 though. Alright, another attempt. Now it is a relatively short lap, so I'm hoping we might even get a 3rd attempt. This is only our 2nd set of new tyres, but ideally this will be our lap, and we'll get into Q2. We won't have to worry about using up that 3rd set of fresh tyres. Alright, we've already gained a little bit of time there, 2 tenths or so, though we are losing time coming down this straight. Oh, for Christ's sake, that is the worst corner in the history of the planet. Oh, look at the time we've made there. 7/8 tenths. Lost a little bit on the exit. Half a second up. I mean, that's not going to be enough, is it?
We have 2 laps of fuel remaining.
Oh, we've gone wide coming into the stadium. Just got to be patient through here. If this lap is anything to get us out of this session, I don't know what we're doing right. Where's it got us? P21 still. Alright, let's go again, shall we? Let's go again. I really want to try. If we're going to get out of Q1, we really need to have a fresh set of tyres when we get into Q2. Alright, we've already made up a little bit of time. It's these slow sections that there's so much time to be made, and I'm not getting it right. Purple sector! Alright, come on, get around this corner, you motherfucker. Effer. 7 tenths up. Eight tenths up. Alright, not bad on a second lap of this tyre. Decent exit. We're gaining. This is surely going to be good enough. P15 will have to wait. So we have just snuck through. Look at that. Just ahead of our teammate SCHWARTZMAN. So that's excellent. We're into Q2. We're 2 tenths off of Giovinazzi. I mean, the laps weren't great. There's probably 2 tenths there. Let's head into Q2 and find out. Alright, here we go to start what is really our only real attempt. Now, of course, if we were to get out of Q2, which is not really likely to happen, we would have to start on these set of tyres. But really, we're just trying to get as far up the grid as we can, and then maybe hope for some penalties from elsewhere. It is that time of the season where there are penalties floating around. That was decent. We do maybe have... let this Alpine behind us get a little bit close. See, we're slow through there, aren't we? Oh, snap. We had a big snap there. And that is going to hurt us. What we don't want is to fall behind. Alright, is it going to be enough? It's P5 at the 17.2. We did have time to do another lap there, but the tyres are only getting older, aren't they? It wasn't going to happen. So we are a long 16th. They got further away from us, not closer. Well, without penalties, we are going to be starting 16th. Let's go see how the race gets on.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Vettel, Pierre Gasly, and Fernando Alonso. Ricciardo, they've taken a grid penalty. Raikkonen, Norris, and Antonio Giovinazzi. Oldtimer, Perez, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Robert Schwartzman and Leclerc, they've taken a grid penalty. Sainz, Russell, Lance Stroll and Esteban Ocon. Mick Schumacher, Mazepin, Latifi and Yuki Tsunoda. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out. Then let's see who can prevail today.
So we've been given a massive advantage up to P11, and we also, of course, can start on whatever tyre we want. Now, I think, and there was a comment, and I think I agree with it, and what we might do, we're already going to have a tire advantage, so we're going to start on the softs, go to the mediums, so we're on the same, the same tires as those around us. I'm wondering, given how much, we can always just come in a lap earlier, can't we? I'm wondering, given... Yeah, if we want to come in a lap earlier, you can see the difference. The softs are going to wear out to the mediums. But, well, let's get on with this and see, could we get points for a second unexpected race in a row? So, the Mexican Grand Prix about to get underway here. 5 lights, and off we go. On the soft tyres, hopefully it's going to give us a good yield off the line. Certainly those around us.
Some gearbox wear. Try to keep your number of shifts to a minimum.
Well, that's not the start to the race we wanted, is it? But certainly to those around us, we've got a decent enough start. We go round the outside. Can we sweep up a few there? Up the inside of a McLaren. I think that's Lando Norris. We can't quite get that done. But we pop out the other side here. Wait, yes, we can get that done. And we're in 7th. So a very, very nice start indeed. Now, there is a lot of faster cars behind us, of course, so we've got to bear that in mind with all the penalties and whatnot. But we'll take a 7th, won't we? That's very, very nice indeed. And we've got the other Australian in the field, of course, Daniel Ricciardo in front of us. Not the best exit from that corner. And we'll go through these fast S's for the first time. And you can see we're a little bit slower than the cars around us through there. Looked good on the exit though, didn't it? And we come into the stadium section for the first time. Jump on board. We can see, is it Tsunoda? No, it's Gasly that's holding up. There's a bit of a queue forming there actually in front of us. This is such a stupid little part of the track, but anyway. Can we get a good exit? We've got this marathon of a front straight here. You can see already on the button, a little bit of wheel spin there, sliding the back out. But yeah, on the button the whole way down here, just trying to stay as clear as we can of Lando Norris. He's got his own problems behind him though with Fernando Alonso. And we've got a comfortable margin coming into turn 1 as we get there. And turn it in beautifully. Look at that. It's a demonstration, but suddenly, apparently we're very slow through there as Norris suddenly turns up on our gearbox. We've got another long straight, of course, no DRS still this lap. And I wouldn't have thought the gearbox issue would be slowing us down. Look at that, such a bottleneck in front of us. Gasly up to 3rd. And, well, as long as they can... I mean, most of them are going to be on used super soft or soft tyres, aren't they? So we come into this section again. You can see we just don't quite have... I don't know if it's a grip issue, if it's a suspension issue with too soft or not soft enough. But we seem to those sorts of fast-flowing corners like that. It's always been... I don't know, it must be the problem... It's either the problem with the car or the problem with me. I suspect... the fact that it keeps happening track after track, it might be either the car or the way I set the car up. As we come onto this front straight again, still that bottleneck in front of us. But we've got Norris behind us. I can assure you I am very much on the battery button, trying to get as much power as possible. But Norris is... oh, we're actually not on the button just now. And you guys look down the outside. We keep it up the inside there. Can we pinch him to the curb here? We're closing in on the battle in front of us as well. We show Lando Norris the curb. And we'll have another look at this. It's a good little exchange, isn't it? Giving each other some room. But just keep him pinched tight there. Over the curb he goes. And then he can't quite get the traction. He's going to have a problem with Alonso, I would imagine, now coming down this next straight. We've got a comfortable enough gap again. And we are closing in. I can't quite see. Is it Vettel that's holding up the group in front of us? No, it must be Gasly. Or is it Vettel? Looks like Ricciardo's got a couple of them there, though, doesn't it? He's pushed himself up a couple of positions there. Again, we come into this section and look in the rear vision mirror. You can see Norris. Particularly this last little 2 here. We just don't have the grip, basically, to get through them with the same speed as everybody else. Norris down the outside.
Okay, focus. We need to stay on form.
Oh, we've got a Jeff. Don't worry, mate. You're not going down the outside of me into the stadium section. Late on the brakes. You've just got to get to the apex first there. We did that. And you're never getting too wide through there. But with DRS activate or opened for this lap, you do fear a little bit coming onto this main straight. And oh, it's a horrible exit as well. Wheel spin city. And this is unlikely to end well for us. Norris already, look at that, alongside us with the DRS. And we've got, is it Sainz? It's Leclerc having a bit of a look at us as well. And we are able to keep the inside line from Leclerc. But Norris, oh, and we've gone too deep, have we? And we've gone wide on the exit. And not only has Leclerc got past us, but Alonso as well. And well, very, very late on the brakes, and we get one back, we get two back. Alonso is there, we give him a little bit of room. He had his nose up the inside, so Alonso will get the position back. Oh, Leclerc sticking his nose up, but we're not being that polite. And we are down to P9. And can we get back past the lot? Of course, Alpine is a team that we are battling with in the Constructors' Championship, aren't we? So we don't want to be letting them get past us and get away from us if we can help it. But he's already got a little bit of a gap there, doesn't he? So it's Leclerc that is behind us now. And SCHWARTZMAN sitting there in 11th, just outside the points, which is good to see. But of course, as I say, you see Perez, Sainz, has quite a few quicker cars coming through behind us as well. So points are going to be difficult.
You're in the top 10 now. Keep it up.
We've been in the top 10 all race, Jeff, but nice of you to pay attention. We can see DRS open for Charles Leclerc. He's going to the inside. Can we switch back on him here? Can we Daniel Ricciardo in? We have a look. We're going for it. And a bit of a late one, but we barge our way through. And we keep the position. Another straight, another DRS zone. We try and squeeze him to the inside, not giving him the chance to get the traction out. He has to brake early for the corner, and we're able to keep him behind. He's on the outside.
Check your MFD for a new strategy option.
Have a look on the outside there. We force him wide again, and
go on, SCHWARTZMAN.
Robert SCHWARTZMAN into the points. 2 AVRs in the top 10. This is a first. Now you can see here, even compared to SCHWARTZMAN, we do lose a little bit of time, but not as much as we are doing to everybody else. So that makes me think it is potentially the car that is the issue in those corners, and not necessarily my driving, although obviously he did catch us a little bit, so my driving isn't flawless. We already knew that, didn't we? So as we come on to start lap 6, a third of the way through the race, 2 AVRs in the top 10, another terrible exit as I get greedy on the accelerator. And again, we're going to have cars swarming over the back of us with DRS. Looks as though we're able to keep SCHWARTZMAN near enough away from us. He has a look on the outside, but we've got the racing line for this one. Can we get it slowed up for this second and third part of the corner? Yes, we can.
Jeff, I'm out of battery. I need more battery, Jeff. Jeff!
We've used all the battery on the front straight, nothing on the back straight, but we are going to have another lunge down the inside there at SCHWARTZMAN and give him a little bit of room on the inside there. We go a little bit wide, but we keep the position, and so does he, crucially, from Charles Leclerc. And still, both AVRs are in the top 10, and this will be coming into lap 7 now, assuming that we don't do anything silly through the end of the lap, but there's not really anywhere to overtake. And again, you can see through those sections when it's SCHWARTZMAN behind us compared to Norris, and even compared to Alonso pulling away from us, the gap stays the same, a little bit deep into the stadium section. I think I was looking in the rear vision mirror there, but SCHWARTZMAN has just about done enough to keep Leclerc behind him for another lap. And we have not quite a second, so we are going to have the DRS zone again as we go on to lap 7. But we do have, I think, a big enough gap that SCHWARTZMAN isn't going to be challenging us into turn 1, and what he has got is a little bit of DRS to defend from Charles Leclerc as well. It's quite the train, isn't it, that we're holding up here. You can see the tyre wear there. It's not too bad. Lap 7, are we coming in lap, we're coming in now. Is it lap 9 or lap 10? 11? Won't be 11.
Okay, gap ahead is 6.3 seconds.
6.3 seconds, not...
Oh, you f***ing idiot, SCHWARTZMAN!
What has he done? SCHWARTZMAN! Oh, and we're down to P. What is that now? Let's have another look at it. He's just driven into the back of us. There's nothing on. From his point of view, what are you doing, SCHWARTZMAN?
Oh, what What a moron.
And from 2 cars in the top 10, we find ourselves down in 14th. Schwartzman moves up to 9th. He is now our best and probably only chance of points. But what? For the second time this season, he drives into the back of us. We go overhead to the pit stops. Team radio.
Well, we came in a little bit earlier. The tyres were going away a little bit, and, well, Schwartzman's an idiot. So we're not really pitting, we're pitting roughly with all the other soft runners. So let's see what we can do here, but so disappointing.
Exit now. We're racing on the exit. Go, go, go.
So we move ahead now to lap 11. We're sitting down there in P13. We've got a little bit of a queue behind us. Raikkonen, Tsunoda, Ocon, Giovinazzi. We seem to be racing the Alphas a lot lately, don't we? They've all got DRS on us. If you're looking for Schwartzman, that's right, that's him down there in P19. Good thing he ran up the back of us, isn't it? I don't know if he did some damage to his wing and had a slower pit stop as a result. But one thing we are struggling with, and now Raikkonen behind us is on the soft tyre, but we seem to be even slower.
Our gap to the car in front is 5.7 seconds.
Through the faster corners, we seem to be even slower now. Really, really struggling for grip. I'm not sure if perhaps there was a little bit of damage when Schwartzman decided to take us. You can see Raikkonen gets a little bit of a better exit there on the soft tyres. So we have the inside line. We outbrake ourselves, trying to keep the place, and we've got, whoa, on the outside there. Careful, Yuki. And there goes Raikkonen. You can see how much slower. Have another look at this. We just a little bit deep into the corner. Raikkonen has the fresher, the faster tyres, side by side, trying to get my nose into the corner first. I probably didn't need to go quite so deep, given that I had the racing line. And then Tsunoda trying to take advantage of our lack of speed and grip and everything else through that section. But there we go. Into the stadium we go. And we move ahead to lap 14, and we have Giovinazzi and Tsunoda behind us. Giovinazzi this time with the DRS. We go to the inside to defend, easing back out to the outside. He's a fair way ahead of us, late on the brakes, and he locks up, and we just about keep that position. You can see we've still got Raikkonen in front of us. Not the greatest exit. Again, we're going to have the DRS. You can see we're on the button trying.
4 laps of fuel remaining. Some information on Mazepin. They have an issue with their car. They're going to be slow.
I think Mazepin's always slow, Jeff.
You can see the soft tyres, they're definitely quicker than us, aren't they? So, yeah, I mean, they're doing my strategy of inverting it, starting on the harder compound, going to the softs, but look at how much slower we are through there. And we shouldn't be that much slower than an Alfa Romeo, no matter what sort of set of tyres you're on. Again, having a look on the outside, again, you're not getting past into the stadium section. But the riding is somewhat on the wall here, isn't it? We're about to come onto that long, long front straight. You may have noticed we're struggling for battery power. We actually get a decent exit this time, which is unlike me. But with DRS behind, I mean, Giovinazzi's going to be a struggle here. We might even have Yuki having a bit of a lunge later on, trying to break the draft as much as possible, blocking to the inside, forcing him back to the outside, but he's long gone. And we have a late lunge, roll it in. And that was very ambitious, very desperate. We'll have another look from the outboard here, and it was never on, was it? It was a desperate move by a desperate man. And, well, there we go. We've lost those 2 positions. But we probably would have lost them anyway, to be honest. So we skip ahead now to the final lap. Schwartzman is behind us. You may notice, who's that? Schumacher got in front of us, just drafted us down the straight. We are not letting him past. That is for sure. And we do keep him behind.
You lost access to one of the gears. You lost one of the gears due to a fault.
Well, the gearbox issue looks as though it's coming back to haunt us. You can see we're in 5th just now. But the car does definitely feel slower. And the question, of course, is what gear have we lost? We seem to have the high ones. They're coming into the stadium section. We have 4th. We have 3rd. So it's 1st or 2nd. Is it 1st? No. That doesn't sound good. It's 2nd. Can we keep Schwartzman behind us without a 2nd gear? We lock the rears. Into the wall we go.
That looked bad. Are you all right?
Oh, we were so close.
Let me know you're all right.
Here come today's winners. The team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently. It's clear to see that they've put in the work and they should be proud of the victory they secured here.
Right, where's Schwartzman? Where is he? Jeff, where is he, mate? I tell you what, when you see him, tell him I want to punch him. I mean, speak to him. Well, a little bit of a race of what might have been. I'm sure I mentioned in the commentary. I'm not sure if in the Schwartzman incident, if we got some damage, you could see how much faster the cars were through, especially that, you know, the S's, that fast twisty section. And the tires weren't that bad, so I'm not sure what happened, but well, it's not actually. We're classified as a finisher. But even if you look at our fastest lap there, we were nowhere, were we? We actually had the slowest, fastest lap, it looks like, which is a bit awkward, isn't it? By a mile. Look how much faster Schwartzman was. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it was the car, if it was me. I mean, Schwartzman did okay, didn't he? 17th. I mean, we both went backwards, but you'd expect that given how many penalties there were. Now, if we look at the standings, Mercedes have won the Constructors' Championship, and it's another bad day for us with Alonso getting points for Alpine, Gasly getting points for AlphaTauri. That's done now. We're not catching them. So it will be 8th, it looks like, unless Alfa Romeo and Haas and Williams can somehow, you know, have a really good result from somewhere. We're down to 12th in the Drivers' Championship as well. I'm not that bothered by it. Gasly will probably get us by the end of the season, and the way that those Alpines and AlphaTauris are going, Ocon, no, you'd hope not anyway that we would stay ahead of Ocon. But anyway, yeah. So it's, as I said, a bit of a case of what might have been. Stroll beats us as well, but we did beat a Mercedes, didn't we? So that's something, I suppose. But anyway, disappointing, really, wasn't it? That gearbox so close to its retirement as well. Let's have a look here and see the. We're going to get any questions from Claire. No, we're not. Technically, we didn't finish the race, but we were close enough, obviously, for it to count. And yeah, Stroll goes 3 ahead of us now. Like I say, we're not beating Lance Stroll. But guys, that'll do it for today. If you have enjoyed that, do make sure you hit thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. We'll be back next time. It's Brazil next, isn't it? The Brazilian Grand Prix, and hopefully, I mean, Schwartzman's got to stop running into the back of me, doesn't he? Take care.